Welcome to What's Your Story, where we, Jaime Marco,
and Stan Brown,
delve into the extraordinary lives of everyday people.
Listen in as we uncover the unique tales that shape who we are,
one story at a time.
Hey, let's get ready to explore today's story.
Let's do it. Whoa, what are you doing here?
I'm getting ready for the upcoming festivities. Can you guess what I am?
A turkey leg, but so some of our people are just listening, they're not watching. So for those that can't see us, and if you're just listening on Apple or on Spotify,
you're very lucky.
I am wearing a thankful headband, but thanks to Target, my dad is wearing a turkey headband. So it's almost worth them going to YouTube.
Hold on. They're drumsticks.
Drumsticks, yes, turkey legs.
Oh, boom.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
And look at this. I'm ready. The orange regalia of the season.
Aren't you glad I'm your daughter?
Yes.
I love you. Well, listener, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving week. And we thought this week that for our podcast, we would do something a little bit different. You get to hear a lot of times from our guests and get to connect with different people that we find fascinating or people we've met. But we thought today, rather than share with you how fascinating we are, because how do you think we're fascinating?
It depends on your perspective. I often fascinate myself.
You fascinate me, Dad.
Speaking of fascination, they just recently euthanized a pet squirrel.
I saw that. What was the story?
I think they couldn't afford a turkey. We're going to euthanize a turkey for Thanksgiving this year instead. Let the squirrels stay with the acorns and the nuts and the other screwball. I mean, the other people in the park.
Well, do you remember that time that we tried to do the turducken?
What's it?
Or did we do a turducken, or we just try to fry a turkey?
We try to fry a turkey, not realizing how actually volatile hot oil can be.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. I remember that was like 20 years ago.
Everything in my life was 20 years ago.
It's like, how long does it take you to get somewhere? It's 20 minutes.
20 years.
So, listener, we thought we would do something special this week, being that it's Thanksgiving. And for our American listeners, we know we have listeners around the world and around the globe. And thank you for all of your comments and your feedback. But for our American listeners, it is the Thanksgiving holiday this week. And so we thought we'd do something a little bit different. We thought we'd have...
Footnote, if you do not have any cranberry sauce during the family dinner, it's not officially a Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, okay. Noted. I wonder if cranberry sauce is even a thing like in other parts of the world.
I tell all the time, everything you need, any question you have can be answered in the palm of your hand with your smartphone.
It's true. You know, what's really interesting is that the other day, so we have, the A in our house. I'm not going to say it because it will go off, but I said, beep,
beep.
Yeah. I said, A, tell me about Jaime Marco. And it was so cool. She went into this whole thing about me and what I do and who I am. It was cool, but also kind of scary at the same time.
Well, whatever you say is being recorded. You realize that?
Yes.
AI is not really artificial. It's real intelligence, something most of us lack.
Speak for yourself. Anywho, So as we normally are interviewing guests and we spend an hour talking to our guests, we thought we would just have some fun and do some fun Thanksgiving, thankful activities with you and talk about how, listen, it is almost the end of 2024, which is just mind-boggling, isn't it?
Man, I'll tell you, it's just most people are having a great time. Things just speed by.
Did I tell you about the guy that I met, Giovanni Levera? Have I told you about him?
Giovanni Levera?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. He is amazing. So, I'm part of the National Speakers Association, and every month they have a meeting.
Well, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal in my own mind. No, I'm really not a big deal. Anyway, and so every month they had these events, and we had Giovanni Levera was one of the speakers at the event to share with us.
Oh, that Giovanni.
Okay, and you'll know when I tell you, because I'm pretty sure I've told you about this. And so he was a magician, or he is a magician. He is a magician for a very long time. And he's done incredible things. He's been all over the world doing magic and amazing stuff. And he has since now kind of transitioned. I think he's still a magician, but he's transitioned more into doing keynote talks. And he's written a book, and he has some incredible just tools about the power of the moments and the power of the years that we live. So I say that. And I'm probably, Giovanni, if you're listening, I'm probably butchering this. So I apologize, but it was so impactful when you did this. I have to share it with the masses.
Is this on YouTube or something we can take a look at later on?
The talk he did with us was not, but I'm sure there's something of him doing this somewhere. So he talks about how the average male, and I'm probably messing up these numbers, so just go with
Stop
me here.
apologizing.
I
Just
know.
do it.
I'm
Jeez.
sorry, just I'm messing it up. Anyway,
Okay, I'm sorry.
so he said something like the average male lives, if they're lucky, to 76 years old. Okay, 76 years old, the average male.
Yes,
Now we want to talk about how old you
that's
are.
really great.
But that's the average male. You're above
I look
average.
much younger.
You're above average. Anyway, and he said, okay, and then he had this like deck of cards, and he was holding a deck of cards, and he said, this is the most valuable deck of cards you'll ever have in your entire life. And we're all like, okay, like what's the deck of cards? Like, why is it valuable? Like, what's going on? So he started showing the deck of cards, and on these deck of cards were different values of time. So 12 months, 5 years, 1 year, 24 hours, all of these different things. So he asked for a volunteer in the audience to come up, and he called this gentleman up and he said, how old are you? And I think the gentleman was like 56. And he said, okay, let me count out for you that value in these cards. So he took the cards and he counted out 56 years.
Okay.
And then knowing that the average lifespan is 76 years, if we're lucky or, living a great life, he had 20 left. And it was like such this incredible visual where you were like, whoa, like you don't think of life in those terms. But then he was,
It's like a linear representation. You get
yeah,
to the end of the 20 years and it's the end, like it's a train going on the tracks and all of a sudden there's no more tracks.
yeah. I mean, it was like crazy. And then he said, I have here for you an ATM card, but it's different than most ATM cards. And this ATM card is at this moment.
Mm.
Right. And he said to him, what would you do differently at this moment, knowing that 76 years, you're 2/3 of the way through it. You've got 20 left. What are you going to do differently in your life? And I thought it was like so incredible because none of us know, when are like they talk about the dash. I always talk about the dash in my classes where
We
like the
call it an
day.
expiration date.
Yeah, but like the day, the month, and the year you were born, but you don't necessarily know the day, the month, and the year that you will expire.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you knew that date, what would you do differently?
It's fun. It's hypothetical. I think I don't think people who are living in fairly good health can even visualize there'll be a termination date sometime. I think, God forbid, when you get sick and have some sort of terminal illness and you get limited time, I think only at that point is the realization that strong. Hey, I've got to get something done now. To prognosticate into the future, uh, it's just I think it's what keeps us alive and keeps us going, not knowing.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that also like I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer a few years back. And so I asked her, I said, what changed? And she went through chemotherapy and she did all the treatments. And now she's, thank goodness, in remission. But I said, what changed in your life through that? And she said, I value every day so much more.
Well, that actually validates my point. She went through that life-threatening situation, and therefore her
Right.
mindset changed. Until you go through something like that, it's like, hey, I'll be okay. I'll be fine tomorrow. Now, what's gonna happen to me?
But that's my point. Why are we waiting for that? Why not are we just doing every day, like calling the people that we love and telling them that we love them and sharing these moments and having, like my biggest thing is that we wait for like weddings or big family events or funerals before we all get together. Why are we not doing those
It's
on a regular
what we
basis?
call back in the 60s, prior to your birth and conception, it's
Mhm.
raising consciousness.
Why was that spoken about then, but not now?
It was just more of a time people would delve into probably pre-meditation, pre-Beatles,
Lots of weed.
with Indians. Well, it's funny, but you mentioned that. I think today the use of weed is primarily recreational for most people. I don't see any deep thinking so far is going on. I dabbled a bit. I was in Boston University at the time. I think marijuana first came to us. I was there in 1970. First came in 1970. No one knew what it was. Uh, Personally, maybe I'm deceiving myself, but I felt a little bit of a mind expansion. Your mind would delve into areas you wouldn't normally go into, and
Hmm.
we would talk about that. I don't see that. I don't hang out with people who smoke today. I haven't smoked maybe I've got 40 years, 50 years, but I don't see that kind of mind questioning, mind expansion going on at all. It's just let's have some fun. We'll party, and I think it's unfortunately that's a superficial nature of people.
Or I think that also sometimes it's just, it's used for different reasons to relax, anxiety, obviously for anyone that's going through pain. But I don't know. I mean, I
Well,
wonder.
but the bigger issue is, oh, why do people drink? Why do people smoke? It's a version to get away from reality. What's so bad about reality is spectacular. Stop drinking.
I'm trying to get away with my reality. Listener, you can't see this, but I'm about to take a glass of wine and drink it because I'm getting
No,
away.
no, which goes back to our talk. Why do we not think about that? Because we're trying, it's reality avoidance. You don't want to think about that. I was in high school. Someone mentioned once the word introspection. I had no idea what they were talking about.
In high school?
I think so. Maybe it was good.
Primary
But the
school.
word, what is introspection? And I think most people really don't, until you delve inside yourself and ask yourself some of those questions that you can maybe not discuss with other people, you're really not making any progress. And most people are not making any progress.
So what do you, I mean, how are you doing that now? What do you do now for, like, listen, you are 70, almost 76 years old.
In December, yes.
Yep. Um, so what do you do now for that introspection?
I think you have to really do appreciate, live in that moment itself. They say smell the roses. There used to be a sign up in Boston. You drive by over the Tobin Bridge, and there was a factory there. And every day they would post a sign, so many days without an accident. One day, maybe it was 100 days. Someone had an accident, going back to zero. So now as I'm getting older, I get these, I walk into things, buying some beer, and I got a thing over here. I fell off my bike over there. I put up a sign in my own head, how many days without an accident? Uh,
Do you really?
I think about it.
Hmm.
But the point is, uh, you have to consciously live and enjoy those small things. I smoked cigarettes for years and I quit 50 years ago. For the first time, you can actually taste food. And every morsel you taste it's unique. You have to enjoy the experience. As Americans, we're living a very fast pace. We're looking for that next thing. We're multitasking. Who needs to multitask? Go read my book. I haven't written the book yet called The Benefits of Low Goal
Do
Setting.
you think that's an American thing or do you think that's a worldwide thing based on the fact that like we're so, like I have a child, right? And so everything is so readily available at her fingertips. We had Polaroid pictures. We had to like shake it. We literally had to shake it like a Polaroid picture in order for that to happen. And now it's like you take a picture and it's right there instantly on your phone.
But that sets up other challenges for her. I think to discuss our culture versus Europe. I didn't grow up in Europe. I never lived in Europe, but we've traveled there. But I think I understand bits and pieces of American culture. Uh, and we can really make some so small goals, make some major changes. And people, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think life's just different. Life's busier, life's more stressful. There's more pressures on people to do things. I had this long conversation with my child about how, like, even when she's very lucky to have both sets of grandparents still.
Mhm.
And so we talk about how when
Well,
you
you
hear,
know that she's not aware of that.
no, she is because I tell her it all the time. I say, you
Well,
need
but
to be,
yeah, but you lived it. Telling her, yeah, the big challenge in life is objectivity versus
I'm not trying to escape. I just enjoy my wine. Continue.
objectivity versus subjectivity. Subjectively, you've lived through that, but you're telling her objectively how to realize that experience. And if you don't jump off the building just to see what's going to happen. If you jumped off a building, you know what happens. But you felt that. To tell someone, don't you? The kids go out and they're going to do the same thing. They haven't been through that.
No, but I say like, we need to like when we see family members or friends or whatever, we need to give hugs, we need to
Oh,
say goodbye.
absolutely.
Because like, do you remember the time that, we were seeing you and then she got COVID and she couldn't see you for like 10 days or whatever it was. And I said, and that sucked, right? And so we don't know when someone could get sick or something could happen where we don't get that next moment. And especially because we have family that's over the pond, we don't know the next time that
No
we'll get a
question.
chance to. So I'm trying to instill
Absolutely.
my, as you say, my subjectivity, my objectivity.
Yeah, well, if you experience it, it's your subjectivity. But you want to share the same feeling.
Yeah. So I'm trying to explain that as a learning lesson. And oh man, that's why I'm drinking wine. I'm exhausted.
Well, David and I, our husband had a similar experience. I was playing pickleball, and our alarm went off in the house, and had no idea
Oh,
what's going on. So
yeah.
I live in a 55 and older community, so I'll delve into those kind of bizarre things later. So,
And wait, hey, and then like a few months we talked to one of your friends who's like dating. Oh, that'd be funny. But go ahead.
crazy, crazy norm. So I held the game up. I ran home, and I keep a little.
Wait, you kept playing even though the alarm was
Well,
going off?
I heard what it was. Mom reset it, but we didn't know what it was. Something that had gone off. I didn't think anyone was in the house. We have no crime
Okay.
like, but I figured I ran home. I keep myself a little slugger, Louisville slugger bat. It's oak. If
What were you
you
gonna
hit
do
somebody with
then?
that, forget about it. They're not getting up. And I went in the house. I walked around. I assumed nobody was there, but I really didn't know because the alarm went off. It's the uncertain thing. And I went I did the room search and the closet search and the toilet search and the shower search. And not
Oh,
knowing you're walking into a room if someone's going to be there, the old expression is paranoia is defined as thinking someone is outside your front door wanting to hit you over the top of the head, unless there really is somebody out there wanting to hit you over the head.
well, and that's so funny. So like
Oh,
we,
hold that thought because
okay,
I can
go ahead,
remember
go
what I'm
ahead.
saying. So I went through that subjectively, walking from room to room. And you see this on TV and movies where they go and they clear a room. But I did this. It's potentially terrifying. You're holding an object in your hand, something to hurt somebody with, not knowing if someone's going to jump out at you. So going through that, it's different than watching someone on TV go through it, unless you've been through that.
Yeah. Well, that's like empathy, isn't it? Empathy versus sympathy.
Yes.
Yeah. We had a similar situation to where our front door was left wide open. And it was you drive home and you realize your front door is wide open and you're like, oh
That's
my,
worse. That's worse than my
oh,
situation.
it was horrible. It was horrible. I pulled in, had this like fabulous evening. We went to a show and everything was amazing. And we pulled in and I'm like, wait a second, our front door is open. And the feeling of someone could be in that violation,
Oh,
somebody could be in your
absolutely.
home. And it just happened to be left open. We had left the house and a friend had left and left the door open, not a big deal.
So,
But
so the point is
yeah,
that that had not happened to you before.
no,
So could you have even anticipated what you would have felt when you felt it? You went through the experience, but
right.
if go dial back to the past, if someone said think about what it's going to feel like, you really wouldn't know. You'd think maybe I'll know what it'll feel like, but then you
Yeah.
felt it.
Yeah,
Totally different experience.
100%. And it was like the scariest, crappiest feeling I've had. But well, no, that's interesting. Well, so anyway, wow, listener, you have been taken down the philosophical path of Stan Brown tonight. Okay, so anyway, so speaking of all these things about being grateful and being thankful that no one broke into your home, no one broke into my home. We were very lucky that there wasn't lizards that got in the house, there wasn't bugs that got in the house, there weren't animals that got in the house. That was good.
Will my insurance people hear about this for the claim I just posted?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone listens to these podcasts. No, we actually not yet. So let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Holiday, and there is like Canadian, Canada has Thanksgiving.
What do they call it up there?
Thanks, Canadian Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. I know that other countries have different holidays, but the premise of the holiday is that we choose, which doesn't really tie into why we even have the holiday, I suppose, if you think about it. Like we celebrate Thanksgiving.
I thought it was remembrance of John Wayne movies. Thank you, Pilgrim. Doesn't work. Huh?
Did you really just go there?
Anyway, can we edit that out later?
We are authentic. We're organic. We just roll with it. So anyway, so that being said, being thankful. And 2024, crazy year. We are now, thankfully, we're not going to go there after an election. We're moving forward. We're doing what we're doing, whoever believes what they believe. We're not talking about it. We don't do that. But I thought we could have a fun little exercise. Are you ready for it?
I'm a little old for exercise. Exercise a lot.
Exercise a lot.
Yes.
I thought we could take a minute and write down our top 5 things that we're thankful for and then share them.
Okay.
You think 5's enough?
For the time,
Okay.
for the purpose of this podcast.
All right. So, listener, can't see us, but we have pieces of paper in front of us. So,
Can we do a podcast where they call in, we talk to people?
yes, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Okay. So, go ahead and think about what you're going to write down. Okay. So, I'm going to do this. Okay. That one. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do okay. Then this is probably boring for them. I'm gonna do I love that too. I'm thankful for that. And then finally, I'm gonna do okay. All right. Let's see how closely we are related. I've got mine. I have my list. You have your
I
list?
got four. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hmm.
Mm, I just so you guys all know, like my entire life, I could never read my dad's handwriting. Like I'm looking at.
That's something we have in common.
I know,
Neither
but
can I.
yeah, but what's really weird is that David, my husband, writes exactly like you. So he'll write me like cards for our anniversary or my birthday, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. I could read like 3 out of the 12 words. You guys write exactly the same. It's weird. And they say you marry your dad. No, that's not. That's
I,
no. You don't marry your dad, but you marry somebody like your dad. Oh, you know what, listener, you can't see this, but so as we're recording this, my child is in the room. Did you write down 5 things that you're thankful for too as well? Oh, I love that. Are you gonna give it to me? Okay, don't come in front of the camera because we don't like to show you on camera, but let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Should I go over your list first? Oh,
Can't she yell them out? Can
wow.
she yell them out?
No, okay, okay. So on her list, number one, is this an order of importance?
Don't make this
Okay.
difficult than it is.
Her
No,
family.
that's one of my answers.
Oh, her friends, me
That's
too.
one.
That was my first two, family and friends. Then her house. Oh, my number four was my house. I love my home. Like I just feel like we've made and just it's really cool because this for listeners, you don't know this. Actually, most people don't know this, but you lived in this house. This was your
We
home.
built this, yes.
Yep, they built this home and then we bought it from them. And so she had her first steps in this home. We got engaged in this home. We found out we were pregnant in this home. The first birthday was in this
You
home.
ripped out most of the walls in his home and did all kinds of new stuff, which is good.
We did. And we had to make it our own. Okay, and then so that was number three. Number four was her best friend. So there's friends and then best friends. Interesting. And then number five is my love, which I'm like, is that your crush? Oh, we won't talk about that on here. Okay. All right. So, Dad, what did you have for? I love that, sweetie. I love that. What do we have for number one? What do you have for number one?
I'm very thankful that no one broke into my house. If they had, this could be a whole different conversation.
Okay, I had family. What do you have for number two?
My wife, who's nurtured me, taken care of me, complimented me, done most of the things for me. She's maybe the person I am today.
Oh, I love
Plus plus
that.
the entire family network, which is very important.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like I remember when I was dating and I was thinking about who I wanted to be my partner in life. And you don't just marry that person, you marry their family and they marry your family. And it was so important that I found someone that realized how important family or knew and understood how important family was. So yeah, I put number two was my friends. And I, as you know, out of like the three of girls that you have, I've probably been the one, and they're gonna get pissed off when they hear this, I'm sure. But I've been the
They
one.
listen to this.
No, they probably don't.
Are you going to say the most gregarious?
Not that, but I probably had like the friendships that have been like really like I have always valued friendships so higher like so high, so much so that I truly believe it's my friends like my sisters, my additional sisters, and I love my friends and I love my morning phone calls, and I love that throughout my life I've had different friends for different purposes, like there's that home season reason lifetime, and I have friends who are my friends for a season, friends that were my friends for a reason, and friends that are friends for a lifetime. And
Jamie, you had me at friends.
I know, but they're just, if you're listening to this, then you are I really do love my friends. All right, what's your number three?
Well, it's funny as you age, your perspective changes and on many things. Waking up every day feeling pretty good,
I love that. So mine, it's so funny because
or as we say, good morning.
we're a 30-year difference. You were 30 years old when you had me. So my number three are my career choices. And I know that sounds weird, like for that to be number three, but I just feel like it's not even really a choice. I've actually been just like kind of pushed into things. So people always say to you, Jamie, how did you get into
Well,
what you're doing?
the best advice is put yourself out there and try different things
Yeah.
and gravitate to the ones you really feel excited about.
Yeah. And like I remember I did this event, it was called Succeed Faster in Chicago. And I remember I spoke there. What I did is I actually passed out a copy of my resume. And I said, how many of you would hire this person? And this was like college juniors and seniors and recent graduates. And they looked at this resume and it was, 2 years here and 2 years there. I'm like, I would never hire that person. They're jumping all around. What's wrong with that person? And I said, that person's me. And I really did. I was like jumping and doing different things, but all of those different things that I did helped me navigate to where I am today. And every single one of those opportunities were so valuable in creating how I can help people today. So that's my career choices.
Well, you always see the path. When you're looking backwards, you see the connectors rather than when you're going forward.
Yeah.
But you always listen to your gut will never lie to you. You have to listen to yourself.
Well,
People don't do that. You got to trust yourself.
well, yeah, and plus in high school, or in college, I never thought what I'm doing now is even a job. I would never even been exposed to thinking that what I do now is a job.
You call it a job.
No.
Okay.
All right, number four.
Uh, I had no business experience.
Hold on, pause. It's not that I don't want to be here, but I'm taking another glass of wine. Continue. Another, not glass, another drink of wine. Sorry, continue.
My IV is jammed up. Hold on a second. Uh, I was pre-med back in the 60s because everybody else, no one knew what to go to college for. And of course, I could, organic chemistry killed me. So I washed out, I took a psychology course, and I got a degree in psychology. If you talk to enough people in life, you're going to become a psychology major anyways.
My husband has a degree in psychology. Again, I married my dad. Continue.
I just wanted something I would enjoy. I could never find something I really enjoyed doing. And I found that after I got married, my father-in-law took me under his wing and taught me real estate. And I found a niche in real estate I just loved. I became a new home specialist selling homes in Florida. And I enjoyed helping people. I designed homes, we made changes, did a bunch of stuff. I found it very fulfilling. And to me, going to work wasn't really work. It was enjoyable. And sold a bunch of houses. I was one of the top guys for a number of years. But more than that, it's just I found it very satisfying. And now I'm retired. Couldn't do it until I was 90s, but it was nice stepping away at the top of your game.
I love that. I think that's really cool. When everyone ever asks me, they say, well, you're really good at sales. And I said, no, I'm really good at building relationships. But I learned that from my dad. Like, I think that, like, I'm very much like both you and mom. I think I take all of your best traits. Oh, your worst traits.
If anyone out there's in sales, be it aluminum siding or roof tiles or whatever, there's so many bad experiences people have with sales. If you're in sales, you really, to be good, you really don't want to sell anything. You really want to genuinely help people. And by helping them accomplish what they want, it sounds kind of trite, but it's important. They have to trust you. I mean, I sold people homes, and I sold the kids homes later on. It gives you longevity. I stayed in one small area, being in Sarasota. You have to build a reputation, but it's helping people accomplish what they want to get done. You share some knowledge with them, and they appreciate it.
I love that. I think it's so cool. I remember I would meet people and they were like, oh my gosh, you're Stan Brown's daughter. He used to put me in the shower. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Hey, whoa, that's a different podcast.
Or you'd be like, have a seat on the toilet and see how comfortable it is. Or like you would make snow angels in the carpet. Is this true stuff?
Well, don't discuss the colonoscopies we did in the conference room.
All right, number 5.
Just being still physically, I was not that physically active as an athlete younger. And I see people who I can't even move today. I'm very thankful. I can get up and about. I can still bike. I can still walk distance. I can still do some yoga. I can still work out in the gym, play a lot of pickleball. And that's kind of a gift. Just don't abuse what you have. Again, low goal setting. We have some people that play every single day, sometimes twice a day. And they're burning out their shoulders, rotator cuffs, hips. They're falling. Knees are bad. On all original equipment.
You are. I mean, it's amazing. Like I really do have a good gene pool. It's pretty amazing. My number 5 was this podcast. Yeah. And it's funny. I was talking to somebody about it. Like, yeah, we get to talk to some pretty incredible people, but I'm really thankful that you went along with this journey and that you said, yes, it's a lot of work for you. I know it is. Like, listen, like I'm always like, Dad, we got to be on today. It's Friday. We got this is the calendar. We got to be here. And you're like, I'm getting my nails done. I'm doing pickleball. I'm doing poker.
That's my napping time. Can I phone this in?
I know, like teaching you how to actually like schedule the calendar. However, like I also recognize, getting back to Giovanni Levera, that life is not infinite. And these videos that we're doing and the podcast that we're doing, they'll be online forever. They don't go away. And so I think it's really cool that one day your great grandchildren will be able to watch this, or my great grandchildren.
Missed you. Couldn't wait for you. The expiration days, like the cottage cheese, it was like over.
I mean, technically, you almost could yeah. I mean, you'd be like,
well, I told Mom my goal is like about 105.
Okay,
I can do it.
I love it. I'll take it. And you listen, with all the technology that we have, who knows what we can do to create that. And I think that that's even still too little time. But so, yeah, I'm grateful that we get the chance to do this. And I know, I'm always like you, always taking on new projects. And people say to me, oh my gosh, and by people, I mean my husband, Jamie, do you have time for this? What are you doing? But this is one of the projects that I love to do because I get to, like, we don't live far from each other. But we get to have, sometimes we're on camera. We're on camera together today. We've been on camera a couple times together.
But if we can get some advertisers coming in, we're open to all kinds of discussion.
Like, who would be good advertisers? Like, depends.
Well, no. We need to do, because we can riff pretty good together, do a call-in for people.
I have been told we need to do that. So
I'll even watch that. I'll be there.
Do you listen to our podcast? Don't answer that. I do.
Continue.
I do. I love it. I
We
listen to
finished.
it.
You would want to do, you have a number five yet?
I did. I said
Well, I didn't do
podcast.
my five.
You did your five.
I think I did four.
No, you said your physical body, didn't you?
I've got,
Oh my
I've
gosh,
got
seriously.
five B. That
All
was
right,
five
what's
A.
5B?
Uh, I have an unusual sense of humor combined with an infinite curiosity. And
Where does that come from?
I really don't know. You have to open yourself up. I didn't really study Eastern religions, but the study of Ki, which is Japanese energy, same as Chi, acupuncture, acupressure, I should say, iridology, talking to some Reiki masters now. The world is full of all kinds of topics you have to explore, but you have to want to. And the information is there. Some people just want to live this, as they say, mushi mushi in Japanese. You wake up, eat, drink, go back to sleep. There's more to life than that. There's some dramatic stuff out there. That's what we want to talk about. Someday we want to talk about the power you all have inside of you that you don't even know you have. It's an unlocked potential. And there are several ways to unlock it to some degree. And if we get a chance to show you, I think it'll be a small dramatic leap forward.
I love that. I wonder, like, I mean, like your mom was hilarious.
She
Was your dad? I never really knew your
that
dad.
was kind of reserved. Mom was she was literally not the one from the Titanic, but named after the unsinkable Molly
Molly Brown.
Brown.
I remember I used to call her every so often, a lot actually, when I got older and I was like 16, 17. I think she passed when I was maybe 20
She made it to
something.
92, still smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, craziness. But I remember I'd be like, "Hey Nana, what are you doing?" She's like, "It's not what I'm doing, it's who I'm doing."
Is this a PG podcast?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, well, I love that. I love that about you. And like, listener, it's so my dad's always sending me text or we're having conversations, really deep conversations about life and about philosophy. And you bring so many cool ideas. And I think that's incredible that you do that. I love that.
Well,
So don't change.
ideas should not be limited to your age or life experience.
Well, that's the thing is that I think it's about, I'm wearing a shirt that says be a nice human today. And I was in Target and the guy was like, everyone should get that shirt. Everyone should wear that shirt. They should sign something when they wear your shirt. I'm like, I know, right? Like, it doesn't take much just to be nice and be grateful that we get to be here. We get to experience these moments. We get to see other people. We get to hear their stories. We get to do this. And like doing a podcast was something that I never thought we would do. And if I did think I was going to do it, it wasn't going to be with you. And now it's one of the best parts of my day. And so, are you taking your polkies off?
Pokis, yes.
Okay.
They don't know what pokis are.
I know polkies are like the drumsticks, right?
Boom, boom.
What is that? Where does the word polkies even come
It
from?
must be some sort of a European expression.
I don't know.
Those
Anyway,
pokis right there, pokis.
well, listener, it is Thanksgiving week. We are grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being our guests. Thank you for
Don't
being our
forget the
future guests.
cranberry sauce. That's very important. And also, is this tryptophan thing really real?
Oh, from Turkey?
Yeah, I think it is. Turkey
I
has
think it's
a lot of
real.
tryptophan. When you eat it, you start to get very.
I think it's real. I think it's real. I think it's real. Well, so Dad, the next time that we are together doing a live episode like this will be our New Year's Eve week episode. So we're gonna do something special for that. We're gonna come back together as we talk about closing out 2024 and welcoming in 2025. And it's nice to have you here side by side with me. I
I think it's
appreciate you
great.
being here.
Maybe we'll bring some champagne for the next issue.
Oh, yeah.
I have one of those hats, you can put the champagne bottles up in the hat with two straws coming down.
Why have I never seen this ad?
It's a once a year thing. It's usually a beer hat, but we modify for champagne.
I like some champagne. Oh, there's a bug there.
Hey, look, if we get a situation, we're going to have you guys call in. Come on, just call, have some fun with us. I don't know when that's going to be or how we're going to go. How do you do that? We're working on it.
I think I have an idea.
Okay.
But so we'll do like a call in, we'll pick a time where people can call in and answer some questions or ask some questions or whatever you want. But really, the goal of our podcast has always been to connect and create more connections in the world. So thank you for listening. If you're in America and the United States, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. And I'm sure there's things that you're thankful for. So do the activity with your family and friends where you write down the top 5 things that you're thankful for and then compare them and see what it looks like. If you're in Canada, do the Canadian Thanksgiving. If you're just around the world, it's the end of the year. We are a month away from 2025. think about what you're grateful for. And there is power in those gratitude journals and writing down
And
every day.
take a lesson from history. If the Pilgrims could get along with the Indians, you can certainly stand your family for a full afternoon.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I think I want to end on this is that, I think around the world, there are so many different perspectives, and we're all different values, different beliefs, different sexual orientations, different preference, all these different things. And, I was wearing a shirt today that I got from my good friends at the Tampa Bay Rays, and it was called, be curious, not judgmental. And they were using the quote from Ted Lasso. And I think that's the thing is that the more that we can be curious and less judgmental because someone else doesn't think the way that we think or they think differently, the better we will all thrive moving forward. So
Keep connected to everybody in your life and everybody out there. The connectivity is very important, even though you're doing phones and things and you're not talking to nobody, you don't see them.
put your phone down and connect. I will share one last thing with you. If you're just bored and you want to Google a great video, my friends at the Chamber of Commerce, Kevin, gave me a really great video at one time. And if you Google IKEA Spain Christmas dinner, you saw the
Oh, I
video.
saw that one.
Yes, so good. It is perhaps one of the greatest videos every family today should watch around the holidays. So IKEA Spain Christmas dinner.
On YouTube?
Yes, on YouTube. Yep, it's amazing. Well, maybe we'll tag it in this as well too, so they can see it. Great video to watch. Thank you, IKEA, for just being so spot on with the power of connection and what we know. We love you guys. We're so grateful. We're so thankful that you tune in to What's Your Story, and we look forward to sharing more stories with you in next week.
We'll see you next time.
All
Adios.
right. Didn't you have a closing you were trying out one time? We didn't say with it. If I could walk in your shoes.
If I could walk in your shoes for a mile, I know exactly how you feel, and we get a lot closer together. You know what I'm talking about, Pilgrim?
Oh, geez, Louise. Bye-bye.
Adios. Happy. Hey, thank you for tuning into today's What's Your Story podcast.
To learn more or share your story, go to jamiemarco.com. That's www.jaimemarco.com. And we will see you next